What fan theory about a movie, TV show, or video game do you see as 100% canon? Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius, the other's insane. We're led to believe that it's Brain that is the genius. But the order that the lyrics of the song go tells the real truth. In every episode, Brain gets the two of them into deep trouble via some crazy, some might say insane, scheme to take over the world. And Pinky, invariably, finds a simple and elegant way to safely remove them from the situation. Pinky's the genius. It's the Brain that's insane. Wasn't there an episode where Pinky was a genius? Very niche theory, but I 100% believe that the Disney film Atlantis, The Lost Empire and the Mass Effect game series take place in the same universe. Belated edit, full theory explained here for people asking. You talked about one of the best Disney movies ever made. I'm gonna need you to explain. I would like to hear more about this. Can you please elaborate? Jeremy Renner tags Hawkeye while he's on vacation from the Avengers. My headcanon is that all of Jeremy Renner's movie characters are the same person. He's a bomb-disposing, pill-taking super soldier, who also helps out with the IMF and the Avengers. Courage the Cowardly Dog doesn't really live in the middle of nowhere, but because of Muriel's age he never leaves their house or property. Every visitor is a monster because he of course, doesn't know them and sees them as a threat. As I got older I realized he's exactly what the title says he is, a cowardly dog, and no one was evil or out to get anyone. I knew I'd see this one here. It'd be an okay theory, but there are just too many wacky episodes. What's he projecting when he sees Eustace hunting the deer and then the deer start hunting Eustace with a giant rocket launcher? And is he just imagining their camping trip? Or their trip to the Arctic? Or that goat that is bitter about the dam being plugged up? It's all just wacky and silly. Some of it is too far-fetched to ascribe to. It's how the dog sees it because he's scared. That toy is in the Toy Story universe frees up by instinct. An instinct that is so good it will probably never fail. It's why Buzz freezes up in the first film despite not knowing he's a toy, and how they always seem to be able to freeze up at the mere sound of a door opening and things like that. Every close call they have is really them worrying for no reason. If the human got closer to seeing them, the instinct would have kicked in. Also, they can break the instinct the same way we can manually control our breath, which is how Woody talks to Sid in the first film. Toy Story 4 made the rules of their world very odd regarding the whole Forky thing. They are weeping angels then. In Inspector Gadget, Dr. Claw is the original Gadget, who was horribly disfigured in an accident. Gadget is a cyborg replacement who has taken over his life, and he's trying to extract his revenge. He stays hidden as his family would never recognize him, and watching his replacement befriend Penny has driven him mad. I've read further explanations of this saying this is the reason Penny and the dog are never hurt. Claw doesn't want her hurt, for obvious reasons. So when she gets involved, the plans fall apart. That would be great. The Caillou has cancer theory is pretty convincing. Would explain why everyone gives him what he wants even when he's being a little shit. Caillou can't grow hair, not because he has cancer or progeria, but because he sucks, and even his own body recognizes that he does not deserve hair or food or love. I like to think that Ben Affleck in The Town is a grown-up version of him in Good Will Hunting. Fits his whole speech about how he'll still be doing this when he's 50. Phoebe and Joey were secretly hooking up throughout the entire show. This was actually written in by showrunners. It was going to be revealed at last episode. Kind of like whenever big major events were happening, they somehow were covering up that they were hooking up. But they felt it would be too much for the ending, as it would have made Phoebe's marriage questionable, and also ruin some of the iconic moments. So it was skipped. Oh, yeah? It was happening on and off the first few seasons. Phoebe is sex positive and Joey doesn't mind the casual hookup. The Flintstones and the Jetsons take place in the same post-apocalyptic time frame where the wealthy would escape to sky cities and flying cars. and the poorly built society as cavemen. It would certainly explain how everyone in Bedrock celebrates Christmas, has traffic lights, etc. The reason the glass slipper in Cinderella didn't turn back to a regular slipper, or disappear, at midnight is because the fairy godmother was messing with us. Her main goal was to set Cinderella up for life, and to do that she needed a way for the prince to find her. She could easily have magicked Cinderella into the life she wanted, arbitrary midnight deadline be damned, but instead the fairy godmother decided to make the prince want her for her own qualities and to prove his love by tracking Cinderella down. It's like the theory in Aladdin that it's all in pursuit of his first wish, that is, to make Aladdin a prince. He doesn't become a prince until he marries Jasmine and the Sultan changes the rules. Until then, he only appears to be a prince. Until that point, the genie is acting in pursuit of a larger goal. Magic users are tricksy. Now do Gandalf. In Ant-Man and the Wasp and the rest of the MCU, the reason Pym particles are so inconsistent in their behavior is because, when creating them, Hank Pym accidentally tapped into the same dimensional energy that Doctor Strange and his fellow sorcerers use, this time originating from the quantum realm. I also like the theory that only Hank Pym actually understands the particles, and he constantly explains them incorrectly on purpose because he doesn't want anyone else to misuse them. With regard to Star Wars, I always liked to believe that there was hidden aspect to duels we never saw. While fighting with lightsabers, they were constantly trying to push each other off balance, or turn off their opponent's lightsaber. And that's why they spend so much time doing dumb shit like spinning around for no reason. To my knowledge, it's explained as the Force users can see or sense well the opponents move like a second into the future, so they're trying to throw them off to land a decisive blow. Momo is in fact a reincarnation of Aang's old mentor monk Gyatso. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this isn't a fan theory, it was an actual storyline from the show that was just cut. So it's semi-canon? I like this theory. In Over the Garden Wall, Greg's whole dream sequence where he's in Cloud City is a trick by the Beast so he will give himself over willingly. This makes sense because according to the Woodsman's warning, the Beast can only get you if you are weak of body or spirit. This deal allows the Beast to weaken Greg physically to turn him into an Edelwood tree. In addition, if you go back and watch the episode, there is a lot of suspicious imagery, including a black turtle. This of course makes the Queen of the Clouds the Beast himself. After watching this series many times, I just can't accept that this is not the case, especially considering how jarring this Cloud City episode is from the overall theme of the show. Every time I see it, I pick up on something else that makes me think this is the case. Edit, terrible mobile typing. In The Office, US, Jan never went to a sperm bank. She cheated on Michael with Hunter and conceived Astrid with him. So raw, so wrong, so right, all night, all retweet. That one night you made everything alright. I'd love to think this one was real, but they make a few jokes about the specific sperm bank she went to. There's a great deleted scene where Kevin comments that he goes to the sperm bank right next to the IHOP and Jan is mortified that that's the one she went to. Kevin McAllister from Home Alone grows up to become Jigsaw from Saw. That would mean Saw has to take place in like 2050 though. The real world in the Matrix is actually a second Matrix simulation, and the free humans are actually machines being trained to understand humans. That's why Neo was able to use powers in the real world to blow up machines in the other two movies. It was a second Matrix. This would have been 100% less disappointing. The question would become, how many layers are there? Well, the moment he used telepathy against the Squiddies, I thought that's what the third movie was going to be about. Maximum Overdrive is the origin story of Pixar's Cars universe. Cursed Child does not exist. It's canon, but still. It's literally fan fiction J.K. Rowling agreed to slap her name on. Fuck that book. I have a really hard time believing Harry would be such a shitty dad after all he went through. Not buying it. The Room is a film adaptation of The Sims. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.